All right, I'd be okay with that. And then, of course, like you said, Sam Darnold playing. That's going to be a very important game for the Cleveland Browns to take a look. Is Sam Darnold officially out? He's definitely coming back for another college season?
There's no guarantee on anything right now. He hasn't said anything.
Okay, so there was just a bunch of speculation. Because I heard that story, if the Browns had the first pick, he's going to stay in.
You know what? Knowing the Browns, they'll trade the pick. They trade it every year, so who knows?
I know. It's some point, though, I feel like you got to bottom out, and it feels like this is the time to cash in.
You know what, Brian? You can't win in the NFL without a quarterback, and what do the Browns keep doing? They keep neglecting the position. They keep neglecting adding playmakers. I mean, imagine if they had a quarterback throwing the football the other day to Josh Gordon, who would have easily had 200 yards receiving. That was a game I would have flown in for on a normal basis, but I can't fly into L.A. to watch an 0-11 football team lose again. I just wasn't going to do it. I originally wanted to go to the London game. I wanted to go to the game in L.A. against the Chargers. And those are games I anticipated on going to. Had they had, 3 wins, 4 wins, because it would have been fun. But I'm not going to go watch a historically bad football team, the worst football team of all time. And, this is worse than the expansion Bucks. The expansion Browns won 5 of their first 32 games in 1999 and 2000.
Wow.
And those teams were terrible. Those teams would kill this team. That's how bad this team is. They lack playmakers. They do not have a quarterback. No, it's not the offensive line's fault. The defense is constantly on the field. This team goes 3 and out. Kaiser has major accuracy issues. Get a quarterback on the team. I don't care if you go out and you sign Kirk Cousins. I'd be thrilled. Because then it allows you to add a bunch of playmakers around. You can go draft Bradley Chubb. There's guys like Calvin Ridley. There's a lot of guys you can add through the draft. The Browns have a ton of money in free agency, and they have a ton of draft picks. I'm sure they'll find a way to screw it up because they do every year. You bring a competent GM and competent president, a guy like Rick Spielman, someone like him, or even, I'll even take Peyton Manning. Brian, I sent you something the other day. Again, I can't personally confirm it, but from my understanding is, I sent you the picture message.
And I'll tell you, Zach,
of the text conversation.
I'll tell you about that, Zach. I also had 3 other reports from moving companies, from neighbors, from I'm getting a lot of unconfirmed reports that Peyton Manning already accepted the job.
I have one from the realtor who sold that house, and you read the message exactly what it said.
Yep.
From the realtor directly, because I knew who was selling the house. I knew exactly, and they did not say Peyton Manning about it, but they just said they're under confidentiality with the Browns, which makes me think, the Haslams purchased the house if they're under confidentiality. That doesn't guarantee that it's for Peyton Manning. They could be saving for the next team president. It could be part of an incentive package.
You know what I had? I had somebody with a, I think it was an orange sports coupe, some very high-end car with custom plates. It said Peyton or Manning or something like that, or an Omaha. The custom plate said Omaha, and it was Tennessee colors. I've been getting a lot of weird reports. Why would
Peyton Manning be driving an orange sports car in the middle of winter in Cleveland right now? He's not here. I know he was here for something, but apparently it was not football related.
Yeah, so and that's the thing about reports. You filter them in. You bide your time. You don't run off with any stupid headlines before you can actually confirm something. But there may be fire behind that smoke, using the California analogy.
Listen,
Los Angeles.
We know there's going to be some sort of change in their front office. We know there's going to be something. And odds are with the coaching staff too. The question is just, what's it going to be? Now, if Jimmy sticks with the current program, the Browns are doomed. It's about, you look at teams like the Eagles. The Browns are all about building their draft capital and, how they're changing the game. This isn't baseball. This isn't basketball. This is football. And you look at a team like the Eagles that gave up their draft capital 3 years worth to get arguably the best quarterback in football right now. And the Texans, who traded a first-rounder for Deshaun Watson, who at the time was a legitimate MVP candidate before his injury. So it was a legitimate MVP candidate.
Well, isn't it a good thing that we didn't end up drafting Watson? How fragile he is. He's already out for the whole season.
Yeah.
Go figure. I mean, sometimes you look like bums for not making a move. Sometimes you look brilliant for not making a move. And time will tell on some of this stuff. Who knew that Carson Wentz was going to be doing what he's doing? There were a lot of questions about him coming out of school. Andrew Luck seemed to be a sure thing. He had a couple of good years, and now he's got a shoulder problem. He might never play. He might hang him up. Who knows how this stuff is going to play out? And that is the appeal of going out and getting somebody like Kirk Cousins. You're getting him in his prime. You're paying for it. But then you can get Saquon Barkley. You can get another complimentary wide receiver.
I mean, I just don't want to see the Browns go out and get A.J. McCarron. And that's the one thing that frustrates me. You have to look at this. Okay, do the Browns want to be a 7 to 9 win football team? That's fine. But that's what they're shooting for if you're getting A.J. McCarron. You think A.J. McCarron's on the same level as an Aaron Rodgers or even that of a Kirk Cousins or a Ben Roethlisberger? In this day and age, you had Kirk Cousins in this team and you stock it with, here's the thing what you can do is you go out and get Kirk Cousins. You go out and get a guy like Terrell Pryor on the market for cheap. You can even add another receiver at that point, just in case as insurance for Josh Gordon, in case he's not playing, because you always have to have it. Because everybody else in the receiving corps sucks. Give Corey Coleman a chance still. But, all the other guys suck. Ricardo Lewis stinks. Everybody else is terrible. You got to go out. You got to have depth at the position. I like the tight ends. And you go out and add a big-time back like Saquon Barkley or even, there will be other backs available in the first round or second round of the draft. You've got 3 picks in the second round. There are more pressing needs.
Right. Well, here's what I was thinking in the draft. I don't care in what do we have? Do we have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds this year?
Yeah.
So
and they'll have 6 picks in the top 64 in the top 65.
Okay.
Because they're going to have the first pick of the 3rd round.
All right, good point. All right, so let's say out of those 6 picks, what I want to see, and I don't know in what order, but I want them to get the best that they can. I want offensive line, particularly left tackle, somebody that can fill in on the line and replace Joe Thomas. That's obviously such a key position. To go out and get a stud or somebody very good that can play that position, that's one place of need. I also want a wide receiver, somebody with size and speed. I don't want any more undersized wide receivers. I want to get a running back. I don't care which one, whether it's Barkley in the first or whether it's somebody in the second or the first pick in the third. I want a defensive back.
I mean, I would love if the Browns come out of it in the first round. Hypothetically, let's say you sign Kirk Cousins. If they come out with Bradley Chubb and they come out of it with Denzel Ward, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, if you sign Kirk Cousins, you obviously don't need to use your draft capital on a quarterback that's going to take 3 years to get great anyway.
Yeah, this would allow you to let Kaiser sit back and learn, and if he's ready in 4 years or 3 years, then fine.
That's a brilliant strategy.
Gets another opportunity.
He can make every throw, but he's definitely the game needs to slow down for him.
I mean, Kessler's proved he doesn't belong on an NFL roster.
Yet we drafted him. He's terrible. So why did we draft him? We used a second or third on him?
Third on him. I don't know. I mean, Brian, when you've got a baseball front office evaluating talent in the wrong league, and these guys don't have experience, again, Sashi Brown, we talked about this when we hired him, was the director of the Jacksonville Housing Authority just 5 years ago. Well, he doesn't have a football background. He's a salary cap guy. He's an attorney. He's an attorney without a sports background. Let me rephrase that. He's an attorney without having the sports experience background, working in a front office on the talent side. He was working, and now we have the Indianapolis Colts front office with Andrew Berry and Ryan Grigson in town. These are the idiots that traded for Trent Richardson in Indianapolis. These are the guys that, screwed up everything with Andrew Luck. I mean, come on. I mean, I would just clean house, and I'm talking fire everyone in the organization from top to bottom. It's that bad. Jimmy Haslam is just terrible.
So, but here, all right, let me ask you this. Let me play devil's advocate. I understand that's your position, and I'm not going to even argue that I'm strongly against that. Let's just set it aside for now. Let's play devil's advocate. What if the plan 3 years ago was, now let's take the Kenny Britt signing out of it because that was a miss. Third-round draft pick, quarterback in Kessler. Obviously, that's a flyer. That didn't work. A second-round pick, that didn't work. So now you either got to pay.
It's not that the Kaiser pick's already been a bust. You can't label a guy a bust after 1 year. His accuracy needs to improve. And don't forget, it's not like the Browns have surrounded him with weapons.
Exactly.
The Browns put him in a very bad spot. I'm not saying I want to go in next season with Kaiser at the quarterback, but it'd be nice to at least have a rookie at the number 1 overall pick or a veteran that can sit there and compete with him. A veteran that can go out there and Kaiser can learn on the job from a Kirk Cousins or even learn from a Case Keenum or a Sam Bradford for a year. I would be perfectly okay if the Browns went out and signed a stopgap for a year, a Teddy Bridgewater or a Sam Bradford for a year. I'd have no problem with it. And don't forget, if Teddy Bridgewater can come back, Bridgewater could be your future quarterback too. It's a good problem to have. Look at the San Diego Chargers, what they did when they had Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees. That was a good problem to have.
Yeah, when you got two of them.
So
that's the point I was starting to make, though, is that let's just assume now that 3 years ago when we enacted this plan, we knew that we were going to bottom out the roster, we were going to bottom out the salary, and that in year 3, which is coming up, like you said, 6 picks in the top, 60, however many picks?
Yeah.
That is going to be enough to finally turn it around with the right kind of flexibility with the salary cap.
But it cannot be with this current front office because they've obviously proven that they cannot evaluate talent properly. It's that simple.
Well, hold on. Let's go through some of the draft picks. Myles Garrett, what do you grade him at? Give him
I like Myles Garrett, but that was a can't miss. Every 31 other teams would have taken him with the number 1 overall pick.
Okay. What about some like Emmanuel Ogbah? What about some?
I love Ogbah, but still, nothing is true. One effing win in 2 years. That's all you need to see from this. There's one win. They should not be this bad. With the amount of picks they've had, there's no way this team should be worse than they were a year ago. It's not possible.
But my point
Last year, they were the worst team in NFL history. This year, they're even worse. I don't even get it.
But that's my point. If you bottom out lower than anybody's ever been, look.
They were not supposed to be this bad. They are historically bad. This isn't
I understand
bad. Brian, this is worst of all time bad. I mean, we're talking on a level that nobody's ever seen in the NFL. This is worse than the expansion Buccaneers that were the worst team of all time, and it wasn't close.
Okay, I understand.
This is worse than the 99 Birds. You cannot sit here and even defend the front office because nothing is translated to a win. They're never even close to winning games. We've had one game that we've almost won this year, and that was the Titans game. They've only held a lead in 4 games this season. They are horrendous.
Okay, hold on. So follow me here. I hear you on all of that stuff. But what if their analytics said get historically bad for 2 years in a row, bottom everything out?
There's no way it said get this bad. They were supposed to be improved this season. They pumped in, they signed free agents. They tried to do stuff to improve the team. Yet they are significantly worse than they were a year ago.
Okay,
that's what I'm getting at. They are significantly worse than they were a year ago. This team is terrible.
All right.
And honestly, it starts with ownership. I'd love to see the Haslam sell the team. But it's not going to happen. This idiot will not sell the team. The best thing that can happen is if he goes to jail, which I hope he does. He sucks.
Well, he did end up selling the team to Berkshire Hathaway, right? Or
I'm
sorry, Pilot Flying J. Yeah,
he could still go to jail. They've got him on. They've got recordings of him now admitting, that he knew about the scam.
Yeah, probably.
I'd love to see him go to jail. He's corrupt. I'd love to see him go to jail. I hate him.
Then what the heck would happen to the team?
I mean, the league would step in, take over the team, and find a rightful owner who's gonna, hopefully they properly vet another owner. Yeah,
kind of like Al Lerner, the one that was partially responsible for stealing our team in the first place to go to Baltimore. Go figure. But look, what about actually having the ability to see a plan through for a few years?
No, it's not working. This is as bad as it could be. I'd rather have Mike Pettin in here, and I'd rather give me Joe Banner and Mike Lombardi back. I mean, give me a break. I mean, the problem is when they fired those guys. Is probably when they shouldn't have been fired to let these idiots take over, and it's just been worse. Banner was at least doing some decent stuff with the front office. At least they were starting to you could believe in the team, and it was and they flipped the script around, and with Ray Farmer, and it was the worst mistake they could have made. They were righting the ship. You saw the talent they brought in there, and then they went with Ray Farmer, and it was just a huge mistake.
Well, part of me wants to just see it through and give it a few years. Actually finish bottoming out.
The worst thing to do would be letting this regime continue without a football mind in the front office, screwed up again. Brian, they improperly evaluated 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Think about that. They traded Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz away.
Okay.
There's a good chance we see them square off against each other in multiple Super Bowls in the future.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. Yes, they did not take those guys, but they were properly compensated for doing so. Maybe
were we? Yeah. Did we replace the draft? Okay. Let's say we've replaced so far. We've added Carson Wentz and Deshaun Kaiser with those picks. You tell me. I mean, we've added Jabril Peppers. We've added Jabril Peppers and Deshaun Kaiser. Who would you rather have, Carson Wentz or Deshaun Kaiser and Jabril Peppers?
Well, we get a pick next year.
You tell me.
Oh, we're talking about the
future
Eagles
second-round pick. That'll be a bust as well. You tell me. There you go with your proper compensation. This team does not know how to evaluate talent. It is that simple.
Can it be righted if you get the football mind in, the Bernie Kosar, the Peyton Manning, some other executive with some experience?
I'd love if anyone just even knew the game of touch football. I would take at this point. This is so bad.
It is bad. We're talking about the perfect winless season parade again with Chris
McNeil. I'd be absolutely thrilled if they could bring in a Peyton Manning, Jim Harbaugh combo. I would be thrilled.
Harbaugh?
Harbaugh did a good job in the NFL. I don't love him as a college coach. I mean, and it has nothing to do with Michigan. I just don't think he's improved, their roster much. I think he was a very good NFL coach. Look what he did, and look what the 49ers are at without him. There's a big difference. I would take Harbaugh over anything we had.
What about Urban Meyer? Can you convince him to come out? Would you want?
I don't want Urban Meyer leaving Ohio State. I need to come here and trash his legacy with the Browns.
Or he could be the savior. You never know. Okay. Well, look, we got another game this week. What do you make of Josh Gordon coming back? What did you make of his first game back?
I thought he was excellent. I thought he was very good.
Same here. And I think I saw some plays where they were 2 steps off, and I feel like more practice, they're going to start syncing it up. I want to see Deshaun Kaiser play with a playmaker like Josh Gordon. I want to give them a chance to practice enough to put it together. I'm not ready to blow everything up yet. I'm okay being historically terrible, but next year we have to hit on all 6 of those picks. We got to sign some free agents. I want to be competing for the playoffs next year. From last to
with this current front office, you're not going to do it. You need to get one. They have a horrible reputation. No free agents want to sign here. We lost Tony Jefferson last year because of it, because there's no faith in the front office. I mean, you got to just. I mean, I know you don't see the process through, but there has to be a change.
Okay. Well, let's see if they bring in a football mind. Let's see if they reshuffle the deck. Let's see if the coaches can survive. Let's see how it shakes out.